What's going on YouTube? This is SG1 Sports and you're watching our college football channel. Time for my week 11 predictions. We're going to take a look at 10 of the biggest games this week. And we'll start with the biggest game, Michigan-Penn State. This game's at noon Eastern time on Fox. Michigan favored by 4.5. I say this is the biggest game. Georgia-Ole Miss by rankings actually is a bigger game. That's where game day will be. But this feels like a bigger game. It feels like a game that just means more because the division is on the line here for Penn State. They lose this, they're not going to the Big Ten Championship, and then that's going to make obviously the game between Michigan and Ohio State mean so much more. So this is a huge game for both of these teams. I look at Penn State and the fact that they played Ohio State, and we saw them against a really good defense, and the offense wasn't great. For Michigan, we believe they've got a defense very similar to Ohio State. It's a very good defense. But for Michigan, we also don't know a whole lot. It's crazy that we're 9 games into the season, and we really don't know how good Michigan is. I still believe they're going to wind up being the best team in the country. I'm still picking them to win the national championship, but I don't know, so I don't feel confident here. This is a tough place to play for Penn State. I think that, or a tough place to play for Michigan, I should say, playing at Penn State. And I think that crowd will make a difference here. I think it's, again, the first real test for Michigan, so I think the game is much closer than last year's, but based off of what I've seen, I do think Michigan is the better team. I don't feel confident in that pick. I wouldn't be surprised at all if Penn State won this game, and maybe Michigan's not as good as we think, but I still believe Michigan is that team, and I think they win. Again, closer than last year, a low-scoring game. Defenses kind of control this one, but I'm going to say Michigan wins at 27-17. If Penn State's going to win, they're going to have to get more aggressive on offense. Drew Aller is going to have to, they're going to have to let him loose, and he's going to have a big day. I think that's really the only way Penn State wins. But who knows? Maybe their run game and defense good enough to keep it close, and they find a way to win it late. Again, home field advantage could be really big. It will be really big in this game. Next, we've got Alabama-Kentucky, noon Eastern time on ESPN. Alabama favored by 10.5, and I talked about this on the Upset Alert video. That's just a weird number. I don't, what's Vegas seeing? Why is that number so low when you look at other games that, Florida State-Miami, for example, where the spread's like 14, and this feels like maybe a bigger mismatch than that game. It's not a rivalry, but I just think that Alabama, after the big win, noon kickoff on the road, I think they start off really slow in this game, kind of like the first half against Tennessee. And I think that the Kentucky hangs around in this game, and I think Kentucky's got a shot to maybe even make this a one-score game. I'm going to say that Alabama scores late to win it, but it's close. I'm going Crimson Tide 26, Wildcats 20. Again, just something about this one seems really interesting with that spread being where it is. The game's at noon Eastern time. Alabama coming off of that big win. Maybe this one's close. We'll see. All right, Miami, Florida State, 3:30 Eastern time on ABC. Florida State favored by 14.5. Rivalry game. I talked about this game on the Upset Alert video. Miami has the talent to play with Florida State, absolutely, but they have not been a great team, and they haven't put it together this year. Can this rivalry matchup bring it out of the Hurricanes? And Florida State, they haven't been tested in a long time. They haven't played a really good team or even a decent team in a while. So how will they respond? I think they're the better team here. I don't see them losing this game, but I think Miami is good enough to keep it close. I'm going to say 28-17. Florida State with a late touchdown to pull away, and they get the win. Next, we've got Tennessee, Missouri, 3:30 Eastern time, CBS. Tennessee favored by 1.5. Flip a coin. I have no idea. I just have no idea in this game. Seems to be one of the more even matchups of the weekend. Missouri at home, maybe that makes you lean there, but I just think Tennessee is still a little bit better than Missouri. I'm going to say they win. I don't really have a great reason. It's just kind of a gut feeling. I, again, could see this game going either way. I'm going to go 34-31 Tennessee, but could easily flip that around and go Missouri. I think that will be about what the score is. All right, next we got Rutgers, Iowa, 3:30 Eastern time on Big Ten Network. Iowa favored by 1.5. Look at that over-under, 28.5. Yeah, don't expect many points in this one. Two really good defenses. I think home field advantage will be the difference. Iowa plays a lot better at home. Rutgers coming off of a tough one against Ohio State. Defense for Iowa, I trust them a little bit more, and they win, but barely. 19-13, my prediction here. Again, very low-scoring game. Next, Utah, Washington, 3:30 Eastern time on Fox. Washington favored by 9.5. And again, I talked about this on the Upset Alert video. Utah, I think, is they're feeling disrespected. They just beat Arizona State by 52 points. Didn't move up in the rankings. And this offense has been getting better and better under Bryson Barnes. It's, you know, that was a struggle early, obviously, without Cam Rising. But they're playing better there. And Washington, you know, we know how good their offense is. Being at home, I think, is going to be the difference. If this game was at Utah, I'd actually pick the Utes to pull off the upset. But I think it's a high-scoring game, kind of back and forth. Washington, though, just too much firepower on offense. They win at 35-31. Next, we've got Oklahoma State, UCF, 3:30 Eastern Time on ESPN. Oklahoma State favored by 2.5. This is just one of those games. It's just one of those games. Oklahoma State's coming off of a tough, of a big-time win. They go on the road. UCF's just been kind of sleepwalking through the season, it seems. Gus Malzahn, I mean, how many times has he done it? He's pulled out a big win. I think he does it here. I'm going to go UCF 31, Oklahoma State 28. I know Oklahoma State's been playing great football, but again, this is just the way college football goes. I think UCF pulls off the upset here, and they take down. But Oklahoma State only has one conference loss, so they're still in a great shape to get to the Big 12 championship. Next, we've got Ole Miss, Georgia, 7 o'clock Eastern Time on ESPN. Georgia favored by 10.5. Ole Miss has the type of offense that I think can really give this Georgia defense some trouble. You've got a balanced attack. You can throw the football, run the football, a dual threat quarterback. All of the weapons are there for Ole Miss. Can they slow down the Georgia offense, which has been getting better and better as the season has gone along? I think Georgia makes some key stops. Playing at home is the difference. I would even take Ole Miss at home, but in Athens, I'm going to go Georgia 31-20 as they get a late score to put this game away. Next up, we've got Duke, North Carolina, 8 o'clock Eastern Time on the ACC Network. North Carolina favored by 14.5. I talked about this one on the Upset Alert video. That's a crazy high number. I don't get it. North Carolina's lost to some bad teams. Duke is still a good team. They've still got a really good defense. Even without Riley Leonard, this is a quality team. It's a rivalry game, so I do expect it to be close. But I do think playing at home, North Carolina, because of maybe the limitations on offense for Duke, North Carolina pulls it out. But I think it's going to be close. I'm going to go 28-24. And again, I would be very surprised if North Carolina won this game by 15 or more. That 14.5 is a big number. And then finally, we've got USC and Oregon, 10:30 Eastern Time on Fox. Oregon favored by 15.5. Pretty big number. Oregon's playing great football. Been, getting better as the season has gone along. Tough loss to Washington, of course, but this is a team that's very close to being undefeated right now. And then USC, I think they give up on the season. Honestly, after a third loss, I don't even know, will Caleb Williams even play in this game? I've seen some things out there about him possibly sitting out the rest of the season. As of now, I think he is playing, but I just think they've given up, and their defense is going to give up a lot of points. I think Oregon wins really, really big. 56-28, the final score here. Again, I don't see this one being close at all. So those are my predictions for Week 11. Give me your predictions down in the comments below.